What's up, fam? As promised, video number 2. I am set up in historic Cripple Creek, Colorado. It's about an hour up the road from my house. If you know anything about Cripple Creek, you know what I'll be doing for the next couple hours. This is Miss Michelle. She is going to be our lovely model for today. I'm going to show you the crochet technique for dreadlock installation and maintenance on a mannequin. The next coming up videos will show maintenance on a person, and I will also be doing videos to show maintenance how to do on yourself. I'll be doing maintenance on my own hair, which is why it looks like it does. So let's get started. We will go over sectioning in another video, but for ease of placement at the moment, we're just going to do a dreadlock on the front of Miss Michelle so that you can see easily how this is done. We're gonna pin some hair back, pull out a section, and use our comb. This is the back comb method. Back comb and crochet. I'll show you twist and rip next. Back comb, a little bit of a body in there, bring her back down. You're already creating girth within that space. What you're doing is you're filling that space with hair going in different directions. You want to keep your straight down here nice and straight, because these are the hairs you're either going to use as your wispy end or your blunted end. So we've back combed a little bit here, which is all we need, unless you want a very dense lock, which I'll show you how to make one of those also. But those aren't very good as far as moving forward because they're a lot harder to dry. You want your dreadlocks full of air spaces. You don't want them full of hair or dirt. So we have this that we've created, this little bundle. When I do locks, I go in, I bring the hair around once, and I bring it back. It's still straight. I have not twisted this hair, but this gathers all these little hairs in my fingers. This is where I focus. This back piece right here and this front piece right here. I twist my lock and I twist my needle simultaneously. So when I start at the top, I'm going to come in with a little bit of hair underneath my needle. I am in the middle, slightly. I'm going to pull these hairs and I'm going to feel them come through my fingers. And then I'm going to flip this needle over and I'm going to pull these hairs. And I'm just grazing the outside. I come back and I flip this over and I'm going to come back under the underside. And I'm going to keep repeating this process as I pull in individual hairs. Right here is where we've begun the knot. You can let go if you want to, and you'll see it's already starting. So we come back in, we pull from the other side. I'm moving the hairs that are out here. I want those hairs to catch that needle. I'm going to twist that dreadlock and come from a different angle. The more you twist that dreadlock, the more you wind up with a cylindrical form going around your lock. I come around and I bring this hair with my finger. I twist that a little bit. I come in from here and I start pulling that hair from there. Now, if you watch right here, you'll see the hair that I'm pulling from here is sucking this hair from here. This is a very light motion. See it? There it goes. You don't want to pull too hard because this is somebody's head that you're attached to. And these individual pulls are pulling individual hairs. So, another point to make. I always orient my needle, my dreadlock tool, at 1 o'clock in relation to the dreadlock. I always want to be pulling hair up. We want to pull hair towards the scalp. We want to work against gravity. We want to bring these lock bodies towards the scalp. So again, I'm going back and forth with my needle, back and forth. This is the only motion that I'm making with my needle, is back and forth. And then I'm going like this with my fingers, and I'm just moving the area where we're targeting so we don't wind up with the same knot in the same place and all the same hair coming from the same place. We want a caged effect. So when we let go and we come back in again, we bring our finger around, we bring in these extra loose hairs that are down hanging out over here. We want to bring them around so that they're laying over here, so that we can come in from 1 o'clock and we can pull that one little hair. Flip our needle, pull another hair, flip our needle, pull another hair. And with each of these pulls, we want to just move that dreadlock body just ever so slightly so that it's not going to the other side of the lock necessarily. We want to create a cage going all the way around with little knots. And each time you make a pass and you go back through, you make another knot. Most of the knots are on this side. Right now, we need to flip over and start making some from this side. But you see how this has begun. Got our hair here. That's what we're trying to pull in. Flip it around and come from this side. See, now this is where our knots were. Now we're putting them on the other side. The more we twist that lock body around, the more we create caged knots going around the outside of the lock. Again, I'm not penetrating the inside of the lock. I'm riding around the outside, just in those 5 or 6 couple hairs around the perimeter. See it forming? So when you're done with your run that you're doing right there, those 5 or 6 little stitches, I'll get to a spot where I want to stop, and I'll just go in and out a couple times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it just makes a little knot there. So generally, when I go back in, I will bring that knot to the other side and try and make some type of contact going from that way. And we just continue to go down until we don't want a lock body to be present anymore. So say she wants a long wispy left out. That's that. You could go down to here and do a shorter wispy. You could go down to here and you could do a little paintbrush end. I'm going to show you how to do a blunted end though. We're going to go just a little bit longer. We want at least 1 inch to 1.5 inches of hair to create a properly blunted end. And when I say 1 inch to 1.5 inches, I mean 1 inch to 1.5 inches doubled back over. This piece does not count. So what we're going to do is we're going to back comb this as much as we can. We're going to flip this guy up. And all of these hairs we're going to bring in first. I'm going to go through the lock body and I'm going to start gathering these hairs. I would generally do this with my finger and thumb, but I'm trying to show you a little bit better of how to get them in. See them? They're just disappearing into the lock. You want these higher up. The higher up these teeny little tails are, the more successful you are at keeping your ends blunted. This is a rounded end. Unless you cut this in some form or fashion, then you shouldn't get wispies to come out. Occasionally, after months and months it happens, you'll get a little tiny tail, but your blunted end should not continue to come back out. You're going to look at this guy and see, where do I need the most structure first? Obviously, right here. We need the most structure. So we're gonna pull some of these hairs in. See them? They're disappearing. And up and down that lock body. Little teeny tiny pulls. If you're stabbing your fingers, you're pushing too hard. If you're hurting yourself, you're pushing too hard. If you hear anything snapping, you're working too hard. This is a very gentle rocking motion. See these guys right here? Let's come back in and grab them. So when you get down to the bottom of this guy, you're just gonna keep running that stitch over and over and over again until you get to the very end. Again, you're just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Let's see what we have left here. All those guys are poked back inside. So let's bring these little ones up and over. And let's work on those. Use your fingers, but don't hurt your fingers. You shouldn't be pulling hard. This is not difficult. It's a game of pressure. You really gotta find your pressure. See Michelle's blunted ends just disappearing into the lock body. As long as you hear no snapping, you're not causing damage. No snapping. So, this is the Instaloc method for creating a crochet dreadlock with a blunted end with structural integrity. You can now take this thing, wash it, wear it, live your life. That's what it's about. Live your life. All right, twist and rip. So with a twist and rip, we're going to twist this hair, separate it at the end, and pull up. And you've created a little nest in there. You're gonna twist again, separate in a different spot preferably, pull up. Twist again, same direction, different spot, pull up. See this knot lock body that you're creating, this nest? Pull up. Pull up. Now, you can leave this just like it is. Start washing your hair and that will dreadlock just fine. It's gonna be a mess. Oh, it's gonna be a mess. But if you want a little bit cleaner twist and rip, which winds up leaving the lumpier, knobbier dreadlocks, you're gonna clean it up a little bit with a crochet needle. Trajectory is important. You see how when we did this one, we came from the front. I wasn't worried about it hanging in her eyeball because she's not a real person. But when we do hair on an individual, or we want a lock to go in a particular way, you have to begin your trajectory going in the way that you want it to go. So again, 1 o'clock against the lock body, and just pulling in a couple of these hairs to get a root started. Okay, I'm gonna come around from the back, grab my hairs underneath my pointer finger. I'm coming in from the back side. Same process as we just did with the other lock. Back and forth, making knots. Twist it around, back and forth. Making knots. Now after we get down to the bottom of this one, I'm going to show you the difference in these two creations and methods. The wind is not working in my favor. I dropped my other clip, but that's okay. Around, bringing that hair around, coming in and pulling. Around, coming in and pulling. Nice and light. We hear no snapping. Oh, we missed a bump. What do we do there? We come around, bring it under our finger, and when you do this, and you bring this needle to here, you actually feel that hair moving. There. There. It just picked up. See it gone? So let's say Miss Michelle wants this end to be a paintbrush. Some people don't understand what I mean by a paintbrush. When I get to the end, it just looks like a little paintbrush. It's a little wispy. It's not a long wispy. So we'll go down. Until we feel that we've gotten to the point where our wispy is long enough, our paintbrush end. We're doing real tiny. See him going away? I've reached the end there, so I tie it off. All right, so now the difference between these two locks. If you look down this one, it has much more caging coming around. This one has less caging and more straights inside. As these two locks mature, we mature by sucking up. So first of all, because this has an open end, it's going to try and suck these hairs inside. This spot is going to get girthier over the next year. This is going to stay more cylindrical because it has the same uniform structure inside. This is going to wind up bumping out as we wash and dry, because that's where we mature in the wet to dry transition. As we wash and dry it, these spots right here with less structure are going to bump out, and that's where your knobs and bobs are going to show up. Right there. Right here. See the straights? And as time progresses, that is how that will go. So now let's do a loose root so that you can understand how to not make this so tight to the head if preferred. So we're gonna get our section. All right, so let's say Miss Michelle wants a loose root for whatever reason. Okay. We have our straight, we're gonna do a back comb method on this one. We're gonna go in the trajectory that we want her dreadlock to fall. So because her face is here, we're gonna go this way, and we're going to back comb in the direction that we want it to go. Not a lot. We don't need a lot. We don't need a lot, because you can clearly see where that has built. It stands up all by itself. Okay. So, dreadlock needle, trajectory that we want it to go in, gather up the little hairs to make them straight. Mannequin heads have threads. Needle, 1 o'clock trajectory, and we're going to come down this lock body at least a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, because we want this to stay nice and loose for Miss Michelle. See all that room? We got a whole fingertip before we get going. Bring it around. Come on down. Now it's okay to do a loose crochet here for Miss Michelle, because we can come back in and we can make it a little bit tighter. But once it's tight, we have a hard time bringing it back out without pulling. So let's just run a loose crochet. Make sure we're not too tight. Just a couple here and there. Okay. And Miss Michelle still has plenty of play available on her dreadlock. That should not hurt her at all. So now if you want to come back in here and clean this up, come on around. Stay down below where your top stitches are. And right now, again, because we're at the 1 o'clock trajectory in relation to the lock body, we're pulling hair into the lock. We're not pulling it from her scalp, so there should be no pain right now. No pain at all. And now we're just tidying that lock up by pulling in these extra hairs. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, let's leave a wispy end for Miss Michelle on this one so she has some variety. Finish that one off. 5 or 6 stitches in the same spot. Crochet. Blunted, paintbrush, wispy. I want to know what you want to know. Comment below. What do you need to learn? What do I need to show you? I'm going to go through a lot of things, but hopefully I get some interaction back and forth with folks, and I can really delve into some of the situations and issues that you guys are having and can help you work through those. Like, subscribe, follow the journey. I'm so glad to have you.